Welcome to the Direct Line, the official podcast for OADSP. We're excited to have you here with us today, and if you have comments, suggestions, or if you want to join us in studio as a guest, reach out to me at podcast@oadsp.org. I'm David Rustio, and today we are speaking with Beth Chambers, who manages the Ohio ISP team for the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities. Welcome to the show, Beth.
Hi, David. Thanks for having me today.
I'm glad you're here. Hey, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in Fairfield County. I live outside of Columbus.
Okay.
Married, have one son, and training a new puppy. So that's keeping me pretty busy.
Oh, puppies.
Yes.
Yeah, I was with mine today, but somebody picked him up here where we're recording. So that, because I don't think they would allow it. They might have. I don't know.
They might have. You could try.
So tell us what you do at DODD.
Well, David, I manage the Ohio ISP team.
Okay.
And within that team, we have a regional coordination manager who oversees just kind of all things to do with Ohio ISP and kind of the oversight of planning, assessment and planning through the state. Then we have a group of regional support facilitators who really are the face of the Ohio ISP. They are out there supporting county boards, ICFs, and really getting in there and showing people how to utilize the Ohio ISP template, process, the online system, and really helping to support SSAs and Qs, service and support administrators, and qualified intellectual developmental professionals within the system. We also have kind of a link to between the IT and the business side. So we have a person who kind of really tries to translate between those two worlds, and our goal is to develop plain language to make some of these complex things that we're dealing with very simple, to make it kind of go back to the basics with all of this and really get back to what we were trying to get at with planning across the state.
That does not sound easy to me.
We're trying to make it look easy, though. It is. It's very complex, but I think sometimes in our system we do overcomplicate, so we're really trying to break it down.
Okay. Is that your current initiative that you're working on? Or is there another?
That is the current initiative. The Ohio ISP template and process for individuals in Ohio who are receiving waiver services or living in an intermediate care facility. They will have a plan in the system by June 30th of 2024.
Okay.
So that is our big goal right now, is to help support that onboarding and implementation, and to make sure that all team members are empowered to be part of that process. After that, it's really helping support plan authors, those people who writing the plans, to better engage with the team members, direct support professionals, definitely getting that perspective, empowering them to be part of all conversations around planning and supporting people, and really just seeing where there are some gaps or areas of improvement in our system around assessing, planning, checking in with people, and then changing it up to make sure they're getting what they want and need.
Now, this is different from what people have done and how we've kind of gone through this process in the past. How do you think it's going, making the transition?
To be honest with you, David, I think it's a challenge at first.
Okay.
It's something new, so change is hard. And our system, people are busy. Their day-to-day lives are busy, so it doesn't slow down to try to do something a new way. So kind of that culture shift or a mindset is where we start, and really meeting people where they are. And we have so many success stories. So we're really trying to get there's a spotlight video series that talks about, it doesn't sugarcoat anything. It talks about some of the challenges people have had with implementing Ohio ISP. We hear a lot of times that it's long. It is. The first time you do it, there's so much. We're trying to really tell a person's story.
Sure.
There's a lot that goes with that story. So starting from the beginning and really having a conversation with people to figure out what it is that they want and need out of life. Right. And then figuring out in the second part of that, okay, we know what they want and need. how do we make it come to life? How do we bring all these great, creative, talented people as part of their team to help them, support them in what it is that's important to them? So going back to the Ohio ISP, there are 3 main components.
Okay.
There's an assessment, there's a plan, and there's an introduction page. So what we've done is tried to reorder that, where the introduction page is kind of at a glance. What is important? What are the highlights? If I was working with someone for 3 hours, what is it that I would need to know?
Sure.
Most important things.
Sure.
What's important to and for them. So that introduction page, people have been using something similar for a long time. So that's nothing new, but really looking at, that's kind of the first glance at into a person's life.
Okay.
Then you move on to the plan, which that's where everything that's important has been summarized, prioritized, and that's what people are agreeing to. So we start with that introduction page. We can include pictures. We can include things that are important to that person. Then we move to that plan, which is kind of this is what we've agreed to. This is what we're responsible for implementing in the future. This is what we're agreeing to, signing off on. And then there's the assessment information that tells you how we got to the plan. So for a long time, team members weren't having access to that. So now we break it in and it's available. We want people to be interactive in this online system. We want team members to feel empowered to, at a glance, be able to pull up information, make noted changes. We want that things to change and evolve for people so that if their needs and wants change, that it's not a cumbersome process, that they're able to, that plan author is able to make those changes, get a quick summary out to everyone about, okay, it's changed from last week. Here's what we're agreeing to now, get signatures if needed. But so that people aren't waiting a long time for kind of the bureaucracy to take place and for things to get signed and implemented. Really supporting people to have ongoing conversations so that we can get at the heart of what matters to people and get things identified in the beginning and then make changes as necessary.
So in the past, it might take a team meeting to make changes to the ISP, and so this streamlines that.
It does. And there are still those things that are so important to get the in-person, get the team together.
Sure.
Obviously when it's necessary is fabulous.
Sure.
What we want to do is take some of that emphasis and that pressure off of one event per year.
Right,
there are a lot of Medicaid requirements, a lot of documents that need to be signed. None of those have changed, but it's really about making sure that we're having that ongoing conversation and we're really listening and learning to what people are telling us throughout the year.
And sometimes just the needs change in the middle of the year.
Absolutely. Say someone has to go, they break their leg, they go to the hospital, their needs change for a short period of time. That doesn't describe the whole year. That describes a short period of time. Then the goal would change to help them get back to where they were prior to the injury.
So anytime there's a change, and a big one, there's always some resistance. Right. Now, you can be honest. Where do you get most of the resistance from? Is it county boards? Is it SSAs? Is it providers? Is it DSPs? Where, who needs more massaging, to get through the process?
It's a great question, David. I think we've had some good questions. I don't know if I would call it pushback from larger county boards and larger intermediate care facilities, where it's a lot to get.
It's a lot to do.
The change in place. So I would say that we're trying to really break it down for people. It is overwhelming, but if you break it down into manageable pieces, it's much easier to tackle. For large county boards, it's very easy to break it down to the SSA supervisors. Those services support administrators have basically the same average caseload sizes. So when we break it down, they're managing the same groups of people. So if we don't look at it as we have thousands of people, we break it down into what does each one of those case managers have on their plate and how can we make it seem manageable. I would say with that, the intermediate care facilities have a little bit more struggle because They are also providing services. There's a lot of turnover within our system. There are a lot of new people coming in. So training is obviously a huge need. There's also kind of getting back to person-centered practices and the basic fundamentals of assessing, planning, checking in, and then making changes. So that's hard enough. And now we're asking people to do it a new way. There's also, for the ICFs, there is the Department of Health and their standards and regulations. So that adds a little bit more complexity.
Sure.
So what we've done is developed a ton of resources to really crosswalk those Medicaid regulations, those tags, to say you no longer have to do double duty.
Right.
There's a comprehensive functional assessment that is required by the Department of Health. We're saying that if you utilize the Ohio ISP, the assessment, the discovery assessment within that, and carries over to the plan, you do not have to do that separate CFA anymore. So really training and walking people through that with real examples. That's what people are asking for, and that's what we're in the process of developing. We at the department developed some mock plans and some example plans. We heard from maybe a few people that we could have done better by asking, for some real world examples. So we are getting those. The next step is to walk those through and really show people, have interactive sessions to really show people where you can put that information, how it can be done, and that you can interweave all of that through the Ohio ISP.
Okay. Now, our audience is mostly DSPs, direct support professionals. How do you think this impacts or helps in their work?
I think it helps standardize that if I'm a DSP and I work maybe at a few locations, or I work for a provider that serves in multiple counties.
Sure.
It really shows consistency. I know where to find things. I know what's pulled out as the most important. I can be trained consistently on what is expected.
Sure.
I do think the overall goal is to really go back and make sure that the DSPs are involved in the initial conversations. They are felt that they're made to feel valued, respected, and that none of this can work without that buy-in and understanding. So their voice is critical to making this change, and really there's a lot of responsibility that goes with that.
Sure.
And I think DSPs have a tremendous amount of responsibility.
They do.
But it also, what could be more fun and a better honor than helping someone get more of what they want and need out of life.
Right. And they're the ones on the front line. They know as well as anybody what somebody might need or enjoy.
And what's working and not working.
Right.
And I do think that's critical because you can have a beautifully written plan.
Right.
And if there's no buy-in and people don't understand it, we got to make it work. Right. That's why we're really pushing plain language, because we have a lot of great, wonderful, brilliant clinicians. However, if it's not in plain language and everyone's not on the same page, the likelihood of it being implemented correctly is pretty slim.
Yeah. Everyone has to understand it
in
order for it to be successful.
Absolutely.
So, last question. What would you like to say to DSPs in Ohio?
I think I would like to say thank you for all that you do. It is a very complex job and tiring and rewarding. It's just so critical in our system. And I think if we take the time to really learn and value those experiences from day to day, what that can teach us in moving forward, and especially with this planning conversation, I think we need to be open to whatever we can learn from those direct support professionals.
Right. Well, Beth, this has been a lot of fun. I thank you for coming in today, and you have a great day.
Thanks so much. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, and join us next time on The Direct Line.